The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, go Cowboys! This is Mick Shots, streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app. Now, here are Bill Jones, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
And here it is. It's a Thursday inside the SWBC podcast studio at the Star in Frisco, and Mickey says it's chilly. It wasn't chilly when I got here.
Well, you go stand out there and do the interview with Dak, and then you come back and
it's chilly in the shade. That's what he means. It's
outside.
chilly in the shade.
68 degrees outside.
It is
chilly.
not 68 degrees. Go stand out there.
The wind chill. The wind chill.
I want you to go
the
stand
wind chill
out there.
is 69.
And see
Warmer
how,
than what it is.
see how quickly you come back in.
Do they have parkas on out there?
No, they do not. They do not.
As a matter of fact, Rob Phillips had a long sleeve shirt on. He went back to his desk and got his jacket.
Oh, my God.
And he had to go all the way back upstairs to get it, too.
Wow.
I'm sure
Is this like Oxnard weather? Are we
Yes.
back to Oxnard?
Yes, that's what it feels like.
All right, after the sun goes down at Oxnard.
After the sun goes down, right.
Okay.
14-mile-an-hour wind right now.
See there? 14
mile an hour, which
Hey.
drops that wind chill from 68 to 67.
There
I
you
bet
go,
it's
man.
60.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right, so
The
that's
National Weather Service right now says it's 68. It feels like 68 degrees.
No.
See that? I told you it's like
Well, the
it's
National
like
Weather
69.
the National Weather Service isn't here.
This
at
wind
the
is coming
Star.
from the south.
it's dropping precipitously because on my phone the temperature is 65 degrees.
Whoa,
See there?
Oh, my
Going
God.
down.
It's going down, guys. Here we go.
All right, we're
Front's
just getting
coming
ready
in.
for the Meadowlands weather.
Yes.
It's NFC East
man.
weather football, and the Cowboys were outside today.
Yes, they were in shells.
In
They had a
shells.
full practice. They only have 2 padded practices left, meaning available for the last
So they're not
3
using
games.
one this week?
They're not using one this week.
So wait.
They have only so many they have a year, a season.
So this is, you mean
Like
Padded.
padded? So
Shoulder pads.
this week.
No.
They have 2 this week.
No. 2 for the
this week.
rest of the season.
Yeah, because you got 3 games left.
Well,
So they got
there's actually 4 games
one
left,
next
right?
week and then one the week after that.
Per week.
No. In total.
I just can't get my mind wrapped around this, man.
You
Why'd
sound-
they use them all up? What happened?
Well, they used one a week because you can only have one a week.
Wow.
for 17 weeks, 18 weeks?
I don't know if they gave him another, but no. It was like 13 or 14 for the season.
I think it's 13 or 14.
That's it.
Crazy.
You know what? You sound like Flozell Adams when I saw him a couple weeks ago, and I said, they could use a backup tackle. He goes, no, I'm done. I said, but you might not have to play, and you only have to practice. He goes, yeah, I got to practice and put on pads. I go, no, only once a week. And he looked at me like, what? I said, yeah, 1 padded practice a week.
Not
That's
even
it.
that.
And not even that for every week, right? And he's going, maybe I'll take you up on that.
Oh my God, maybe I'll take him out. Give me a break. I could just sit back there and dime and just play middle field, center field.
You don't need your pads, right?
I don't even need them. Yeah,
Because there's
just
no
catch any
tackling going.
overthrow. Right.
There's
right.
no
I
tackling
can just
going
usher him
on.
out of bounds. I
Right.
don't have to actually tackle him.
All right, so to let you know what happened in practice, obviously no Tyron Smith, no Cedric Wilson. Sean McKeown is out there, so it looks like he probably, with that neck injury, is ready to go. Tony Pollard came out with Zeke when the guys were doing stretch. Zeke got on the stationary bike. Pollard worked out with Britt Brown on the cords. But when they went into some of the skeleton drills and individual drills, he had his helmet on, his shells on, and he was taking turns with Zeke.
Oh, okay.
So I think at least limited today, and I think that might bode well if he comes out of it okay. Donovan Wilson was back. It looked like back in practice. Now, I don't know if he would be just limited, but at least he was out there taking parts in the practice. And Zeke was doing individual drills and skeleton drills and didn't seem to be having any problems. So that's kind of your injury update. because from yesterday, and they didn't practice yesterday, right?
Because they were tired.
Indoors,
right,
tired, resting their legs. Can't work too hard in December,
that's in
right?
the CBA too, right?
Yeah.
We're tired.
So that's why they had a lesser practice today, because they didn't practice yesterday?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Giants, 5 guys didn't practice yesterday, and theirs was basically a walkthrough also. So 5 guys couldn't even do the walkthrough. And then they had 3 other guys limited, and now they've got 6 guys on COVID.
Yeah, I was going to say, what's the COVID count on both squads?
So Cowboys won.
Mm-hmm. Cedric Wilson.
And looks like 6 or so at this point, although some guys could get back in time. I believe he's the safety. See if I can say this. Oshan Zimenez is close contact. How did I do?
You did good.
Good.
You don't even know what it's supposed to be.
He's looking.
Yeah, he's looking
checking it out.
Right.
Yeah, he's checking it out.
He's not a safety.
Oh, okay.
He's linebacker.
I wrote it down phonetically, so I got it.
Is it just the holidays? Is that why?
I don't know what's happened. So they've had 100 so far this year.
Yeah, and it jumped
in the league.
So
on Monday it was 35.
37, yeah.
37.
No, that was one day.
Right. Yeah, then
but
2
3
days later it was 75.
3 days in a row, it got up to almost 100.
So it's been about 35 a day.
Yesterday 75, today 100.
Yeah.
That's the way it was. Yesterday.
So the Giants are without Kadarius Toney and John Ross, 2 of their better wide receivers, linebacker Cam Brown, and then Aaron Robinson was out. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4,
Adoree
5,
Jackson,
6,
too.
7. Adoree Jackson. They got 7 teams right now are in advanced COVID protocol, meaning they're virtual meetings, masked up, can't be in the facility other than to practice. Adoree Jackson is out with a quad.
He's hurt anyway. He's one of those COVID guys.
Right, exactly.
We've seen this coming. We've seen this before. So is the NFL, are they...
They're getting close. Yes, they're getting close to coming down with more stringent protocols. As a matter of fact, the NFL Observer was here today. I'm sure he was in town for the NFL meetings, but he comes in like once a month to observe not only practice, like who's out there, who's around the practice, how many people that aren't players out there, and walks through the facility over there to see the cameras are up and how they're conducting themselves. And they've come out and basically telling the staff, Tier 1, Tier 2 staff, you got to get your booster by December 27th. And Mike mentioned yesterday that head athletic trainer Jim Maurer talked to the team before practice on Wednesday, explaining the importance of the booster. Can't mandate it, but can tell how important it is.
And also social distancing. I mean, it's the holidays, Thanksgiving, and now Christmas is coming up. You just got to be even more careful.
I've got a question about the booster. At what point after you get the booster shot does it take effect? Because when you got your original,
2 weeks,
it was 2 weeks after your second shot, right?
Yeah.
So and there was 4 weeks in between, so it was like a 6-week process.
I think I saw something about 10 days.
All right. So if
I saw that too.
If you've got the deadline of December 27th, the regular season ends on January 9th. And so if someone
aren't there 2 games in January?
Yeah, January 2nd and January 9th.
Okay,
Right.
All right.
So if the deadline's December 27th, for the teams that don't make the playoffs, the booster doesn't take if you wait until
they're not worried about
if you wait until December 27th. If that's the date, then it doesn't take effect for another 10 days after that.
It's not the players; it's the staff. December 27th on the booster.
Okay, but I'm talking about the staff. I mean, so if you're going to set a date, if you got to get the booster, go ahead to have it affect on the season. Do it earlier.
And you know what?
I mean, if you're going to,
you could. It doesn't take long, right? You can go to CVS and get a booster.
My son just got one this
Go
morning.
to Walgreens.
I fussed at him
whatever.
last night, and he got up this morning and he went
And got it.
His stuff's already done.
Because what the
And he went to CVS.
Yeah, was
Yeah, he did.
Was it Sills, Dr. Sills, the NFL guy,
Yep.
medical director? He was basically saying if you have just the regular vaccination, at some point it starts wearing down. It doesn't wear off, but it wears down.
Yeah.
And so, you can go and get the booster, and you'll be good to go, or at least a little bit more confident. Let's put it that way.
Right.
We say
Still not sure how much confidence I have.
exactly. All right.
So that's your medical update for
Now,
Dr. Mickey Fauci.
as it pertains to Sunday's game, there is one guy who is on the Giants' close contact list who is out of practice right now, and that's the safety Xavier McKinney. He has not tested positive, but he because I believe there's a safety or two in there. He's a close contact, and so Joe Judge expressed today that as long as McKinney doesn't test positive this week, he's confident he'll be able to play on Sunday.
Right,
but right
he
now
doesn't
he's
have
out with a close contact.
Yeah, as long as he
and
doesn't have
so
any
and
symptoms.
that's a significant player for the Giants. I mean, when you look at the Giants, their 2 wins in the last 5 weeks over Philadelphia and Las Vegas, they were +4. They had 4 takeaways against Philadelphia, and they had 3 takeaways against Vegas, and he had 3 interceptions in those 2 wins.
Who was that?
Xavier McKinney, the safety out of Alabama, who's a really good player.
So they had basically 5 starters that weren't practicing yesterday. We'll see what happens today. Saquon Barkley, Daniel Jones, Austin Johnson, defensive lineman, and Adoree Jackson, and Graham Gano, their kicker, was out too.
The other guy that it's not COVID related, but on their defensive line, Leonard Williams.
Williams, yes. And I guess Dexter Lawrence.
Right.
He's a guy that they're trying to figure out because they had 3 first-round picks, and 2 of them have already flamed out. So they're hoping.
What do you mean flamed out?
Like
they weren't worth the crap. I mean, that's what you mean.
Yeah, I wrote that down.
Because if they aren't worth the crap, then that's bad scouting. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You got one left.
it was
draft picks?
3 first-round picks from 2019.
Okay.
So the jury's still out on Daniel Jones, right? The first one, DeAndre Baker. I don't even know if he's on the team.
He had some off the field issues.
He
didn't he?
and they got rid of him already. So that's the
the other
first
one?
round. And
Dexter Lawrence.
And there's a question mark on just how good he is.
Golly, man. You spent a first-round pick.
And traded people away to get those picks, guys. I think
man.
it was the Odell Beckham Jr. trade.
And you fire Jason Garrett.
Yeah,
Right.
He was the problem.
Key.
What do you think about Jason going to Jacksonville?
Has that been announced?
No, they got to do something to fix the culture
sounds
there.
Desperate. That's what it sounds like.
It sounds. They got to fix the culture there. And again,
you know what? He would be good for that. He would be good for that.
Just get him.
But you got to have patience with your coach in Jacksonville. You know that they think it's going to happen overnight. And you know, you fire your coach 13 games in. You knew after the 4th game that he was not the guy. They were just hoping he wouldn't screw up again before the season was over, and he couldn't even do that. So I know if Jason went down there, I think it'd be good for the organization, but the organization would have to be patient.
Right. And think about this, too. All the stuff that's took place with Urban Meyer, if they were 11-2,
Nobody would care.
he's still the he's still the coach, right? Mm-hmm. Even if he kicked the kicker and called him a dip ass.
He did. But here's my thing. When I look at the team, I don't see improvement. You know, you got a quarterback there. You got Sunshine, and he hadn't gotten any better.
Right.
So, you know, he hadn't gotten any better.
So you need somebody that's a good quarterback
That's
coach.
what I'm talking about right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Byron Leftwich.
Byron Leftwich?
I agree.
Is there
100%.
as a head coach? I don't even know who their
Didn't he play
offensive
there?
coordinator
Yes,
is. Yes, he did.
Yep.
He beat the Cowboys pretty bad that one year.
That's a no-brainer right there to me. It really is.
So let the Tampa Bay season play out. He's offensive coordinator there, and I think he would be a prime candidate in Jacksonville.
Remember, everybody loves him. You know, you remember
Leftwich?
Yeah, at Marshall, was it when they were his lineman carried him to the line of scrimmage on like a last 2-minute drive? I've never seen that before. They picked him up and carried him from play to play, and he got out there. I believe they won that game.
Did you help Deion recruit that cornerback?
I did not, but
Okay.
I'm proud of him. I'm proud of him. Yeah, when you bring that up, Deion's never been a guy that I would pattern myself after. But when you look at what he's done as a family man, he went through went through a divorce, of course, but his kids seem to be very well balanced. He brought his kid with him. He's a quarterback for Jackson State. And, let's just be real. He produces everywhere he goes. And at Jackson State, not just the SWAC needed it, but all HBCUs, we need this influx of these professional players coming back and coaching.
You good with Hugh Johnson?
Hugh Jackson.
Jackson, sorry.
I am good with Hugh Jackson because to me he's a guy a lot like Jason Garrett. Winning is important, but he's always been about the players. He's always been about the players. And he's gotten screwed a few times because he took that stance. So I hope he continued. I hope he stayed in that manner. And, it's a way to make a difference when you go to an HBCU because you're talking about legacy. You're not just talking about winning. You're talking about legacy. Rob always talked about, you graduate first. You carry yourself as a Gramblinite before you play as one. And so football was always there, of course. It's sports. Like Rob said, you're not going to catch 80,000 people coming to watch the geometry class. So it's about football, yes, but when it's all said and done, we also realize once these young men finish, they're just another black man trying to go into society, so we want to make sure you're ready for it. And I think Hugh Jackson's the guy that can continue that little culture.
So unfortunately, Dak's probably doing his media session right now. He comes back last, and so when I came in, they
You
were
want to take a break and go see if he's there?
See if he's there. And say, hey, what are you doing?
He's itching. You can see him. He's squirming in his
How about
seat.
this from Zach Martin? They asked him about Neville Gallimore, and he said he's a dense human being.
He doesn't mean it up here.
Yeah, he didn't mean up here. He means body type. Yes, that's a dense human being.
That is a compliment,
Right?
He did clarify that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think everybody knew what he was talking about.
No, that's amazing. The way he's playing. Oh my God, I hadn't seen a play like. When is the last time you seen a play like that? In the pros. In the pros. I mean, we've seen LT. We've seen of course Parsons this year, but you heard two people in one play.
That's right, he did.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
And they didn't return either.
They did not. I mean, they were laid out. You had two people laid out, and Randy Gregory's over there just dying and laughing.
I don't think they're back this week either.
No, I don't
they
think
are.
so. And speaking of Gregory, so somebody wanted to ask him about the team's identity now is defense, and he was like, "Oh, I don't know. We want to go there." He said, let's put it this way. I'm very proud of where the defense is right now. And it's like, okay, good answer.
It is a good answer.
And then he went on to talk about how much confidence he had in the offense and that they still have room to improve. And just think about it, all those guys playing together, they hadn't been together that long.
They had not been together.
They got 4 games to basically get ready for we're not supposed to mention playoffs either. Did you hear Mike this morning?
After 10 wins?
After 10 wins.
Wait,
Got to get
after
to 10
Sunday.
Got
wins.
Jim Mora moment or something?
Yeah.
Playoffs.
Yeah. Because Brad, I knew where Brad was going. Like he was going to ask him if you talk to the players about playoffs or the contingencies out there, and he stopped him in the middle of the sentence as soon as he said playoffs, and he goes, yes, we're not going to talk about that until we have our 10th win.
That's right.
Because that guarantees the playoffs.
Don't use that word either.
He said
you don't use that word either.
his point was
It worked last week. Oh, he didn't use that word last week either, but it was reported that he did.
His point was if you win 10 games in the NFL, you have a good chance you're going to end up in the playoffs, not necessarily
especially with 7 teams making
and now
the playoffs.
17 games. He said, I don't know, maybe I have to go till 11.
Oh yeah, but you get an extra team in the playoffs too.
Right.
7 teams in the playoffs. All right, there's much more to get to. We're just getting started on this edition of Mick Shots, and Mickey's going to check and see if Dak is talking, and we'll have a full report when we
out
come
the
back.
door as we speak.
Hey, Cowboys fans, ready to spice up your next watch party? Bring Yo Quiero guacamole and be the game day hero. Yo Quiero means I want, and we know you want great, fresh-tasting, ready-to-serve guacamole for your home gating and tailgating events. Made with real avocados and the perfect blend of spices, it will be the star of any party. You can find us at your local Albertsons or Tom Thumb in the deli section. If you can't find it, talk to your store manager and tell them, Yo Quiero guacamole.
Brace yourself for an existential question. Has your butt been having enough fun lately? Have you been treating it well? Has it been going places? If not, then it's about time you start using SeatGeek. SeatGeek is the best way to get your butt tickets to live events. Just ask the thousands of other butts who have rated it the #1 ticketing app. So what are you waiting for? Download the app now or visit SeatGeek.com to get tickets to sports, concerts, and live events and make your butt happy. SeatGeek. Get your seat in a seat.
How great would it be to travel to watch the Cowboys win on another team's turf? Pretty great. But honestly, just watching the game from anywhere but your house would be fun. Even a hotel bar with some guy named Phil from St. Louis who thinks Oakland still has a team. So whether you're traveling to the game or watching from your favorite vacation spot, book a place to stay on Hotels.com. Proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
At AT&T, everyone, new and existing customers, get our best deals on every smartphone. Why? Because you deserve it. For turning your living room into your office and your gym. For teaching Grandma how to video call. And teaching her again.
It's the button on your left, Nana. Okay, your other left.
It's not complicated. Everyone deserves something new. So AT&T is giving everyone, new and existing customers, our best deals with every unlimited plan on every smartphone, even the latest ones.
AT&T may temporarily slow data speeds if the network is busy. Restrictions and exceptions may apply.
Back to Mick Shots.
Excuse me, but your favorite WWE superstars return to AT&T Stadium for WrestleMania on Saturday, April 2nd, and Sunday, April 3rd. That would be 2022. For a limited time, get 4 tickets for the price of 3 and save up to 25% when you use the code CHEER, CHEER, and it's capital letters too, by the way. Get your tickets to the most stupendous 2-night WrestleMania in history. Visit SeatGeek.com, the official ticketing provider of AT&T Stadium.
Who authored that, man? I like that. They used some good words there. Stupendous.
AT&T Stadium, there's a lot of football being played this week. You know, the Cowboys are away from AT&T Stadium over basically a full month period. Right? From Thanksgiving until the day after Christmas. Next home game is the Washington game on the 26th. But there's 12 state championship games being played at AT&T Stadium starting yesterday. There were 3 yesterday. There's 3 every day, Wednesday through Saturday. Mm-hmm. And Everson said he's going out there on Saturday.
I'll be at the Sock game at 11.
South Oak Cliff plays Liberty Hill at 11 a.m. Saturday.
Duncanville has the rematch against Galena Park.
North Shore.
That's right. Yes, mm-hmm. And that's the rematch from the
Hail Mary.
Hail Mary.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I told you I spoke at Duncanville's banquet after that.
Did you?
I did. And, of course, I had to bring up the San Francisco game just to let them know how
there's life after
things in the perspective. And as I was bringing that up, one guy in the stand goes, "That was you." That was you. Yeah, dude. That's why I'm telling you the story.
So their head coach,
Reginald Samples.
He it was like maybe a week or 2 after. I don't know why he was here at the Star, but it was around the time before Jason's press conference.
Might have been a Coach of the Year deal.
It might have been, and they were, and he came walking in, and I saw him. And I just went up to him and I said, man, I don't know what to tell you. I said, but you did a phenomenal job to actually do an interview after that game.
After that game,
because he carried himself awfully well.
Sure did.
And I was like, if it was me, I don't think I could have done that.
He didn't look at it as any other loss, but it was, he used the same jargon.
Right.
But down deep, it was hard to say.
And so just to bring the perspective on this, Reginald Samples, he's been at Duncanville for several years now, and this will be his third state title game in the last 4 years.
Started off at Skyline.
And he actually was before that, but he was at Skyline prior to Duncanville, and prior to that he was at Lincoln.
Mm-hmm.
And South Oak Cliff is playing in the state championship game. The last time a DISD school won a UIL state championship was 1950, Sunset High School.
Yeah.
Or the last time they were able to keep a state championship.
Right.
Dallas Carter in 1988.
That just gets everybody goes past that, right?
Right. Carter beat Converse Judson in 1988. And
you have those great players.
It might have been one of the best high school teams in the state of Texas.
They got it taken away because of things off the field. It had nothing to do with how good they were on the field.
Right. And Jesse Armstead was on that team, that Carter team in 1988. The DISD school made it to the state championship game in 2004, and Reginald Samples was the head coach of that Lincoln team. It was led by Byron Eaton, who's a quarterback. Eaton was a great basketball player at Oklahoma State.
Point guard and quarterback.
They lost it on in double overtime against Kilgore on a blocked field goal attempt that was returned for a touchdown.
Okay, let's put things. Also, let's talk about another one. If I'm not mistaken, Highland Park Field was that Samples team with the controversial onside kick. You remember it was
no, it was Skyline against South Lake Carroll.
Yeah.
In
controversial onside kick.
Yeah.
I was there, and I can't.
I was there too.
Quite remember how that went.
It was
down. It went past 10 yards. It didn't go 10 yards. It didn't
something
go 10
like
yards.
that.
Something like that. Yeah, that was very controversial as well.
So
no, that was a good.
But
game.
Samples has had all these close calls and has not won a state championship. Yeah. And he is considered the godfather of coaches in the area. And Jason Todd, who is the head coach at South Oak Cliff, was on Samples' staff for 10 years at Lincoln and then at Skyline, and got the South Oak Cliff job. And South Oak Cliff now is playing in the state championship game.
You guys are selling tickets to the games on Saturday.
Hey man, that's
and then they may already be sold out.
Well, here's the other thing: is the Saturday night game. Austin Westlake is playing Denton Guyer.
Yes.
Right.
Austin Westlake might have the best high school football team I've ever seen.
That's what they say.
Todd Dodge is the head coach there, and it's going to be his last game. He's retiring at the end of the season.
Really?
And so
not to move on to
he's retiring from coaching, and so Westlake. I mean, they've been
a great weekend.
Yeah.
Is he old enough to retire?
He's not.
That's what I was thinking. He must be moving on. I didn't think he was that old.
He's really not. He had a health issue a year or two ago, and so he's decided that this is it for now, anyway.
Because he can't be like early 60s, right?
He's probably maybe late 50s or 60 years old. He was 1981 out of Port Arthur, so whatever that would be, so 40 years ago. So he's probably 58 or so. Yeah. So
nice stuff.
Anyway, all right, that gets you up to speed on everything that's going on out there.
I like that.
Before
58.
WrestleMania. 58, Chris says.
All right. What concerns you about the Giants this week?
What concerns me is the Cowboys.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to go into another Denver game. It's too late for that, to have that kind of setback. I don't want to see us as a team, and that could go for any of these ensuing games. I don't want to see us go back to old habits. We've got a little issue at the quarterback position with the passing game.
The running game,
offensive line. But, this is the moment to where we understand what our problems are. Let's just move forward with them. And every NFL team does it. Let's not keep acting like we're so delicate and put together so shakily to where we can't survive, just a little bit of adversity. So, let's just go forward. And what helps you with that is having a good defense.
Okay, I guess my question is, from a coaching perspective, What is a more nerve-wracking game for a coach when you're playing when you're going up against the Giants this week?
Yeah.
Or let's say Arizona 2 weeks after that.
Yeah, this game.
Trap game.
4-9. And Mike talked about what he was concerned most about with the Giants' defense, with the Cowboys trying to get their offense going. He said they've played every defensive front that's available in football. So they're multiple, right? They don't do the same 3-man, 2-4 linebackers, 4-3. They play a lot of different fronts. They probably move the front to try to confuse the offensive line. That was his concern for him to get the offense ready to face their multiple fronts.
Isn't that our MO as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So because, with the injuries they have, the COVID they have, they haven't been very good offensively so far this year. You just got to take care of yourself, I think, from that standpoint. And don't go out there and flop around, turn the ball over, give them easy touchdowns, things like that. And you would be able to take care of yourself.
I think that's why, we were just trying to say nothing worries us about the Giants. It's the Cowboys that worries.
So
anything that we do.
Their last games, and they've won a couple of them, but they scored 25 points to beat Carolina 25-3, and then they've scored 17, 23 in a win over the Raiders, 10 against Philadelphia, 13 in a win. Oh, no, that was over Philadelphia.
10 was Tampa.
10 was Tampa Bay, and then 9 and 21 in the loss to the Chargers. Why do the NFC East teams have the problems with the Raiders? Have they beaten anybody else other than the NFC East? What's the deal?
Well, the Giants beat the Raiders.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Why,
if the Giants can beat them, why can't anybody else?
Yeah.
That's what you're thinking.
So...
Well, Washington beat the Raiders, too.
They beat them? So
Yeah.
the Cowboys are the only ones that
The
lost
problem
to
is the Cowboys can't beat the
That
Raiders.
was so bad. That's so bad.
Here's the common denominator in their 2 wins, though, against the Giants. Their win over the Raiders, they had 3 takeaways. Their win over Jalen Hurts in Philadelphia, they had 4 takeaways.
Mm-hmm.
And the other games, they had 0 takeaways the last 2 weeks against the Chargers and the Dolphins, and lost both those games. I mean, they got blown out by the Chargers. It was 37-7 before they scored 2 late touchdowns to make it 37-21. And
So Freddie Kitchens is the answer to that?
Well, and then Mike Glennon is quarterbacking.
Right.
And his career record as a starting quarterback in this league is 6-23.
Jeez.
And
he's still in the league.
Now we saw.
How is that, man? How is that? This is crazy.
Now we saw Glennon earlier this season. As
Yes,
we
we
all
did.
recall, Daniel Jones got knocked out of the game here. Saquon Barkley got knocked out of the game here. And Barkley was out for the next 6 weeks.
Bunch of bullies.
And he's back now. And so they do have a healthier Barkley now.
Well, didn't Glennon led them to those late touchdowns, right, against the Giants? Because it looks like, okay, it was 44-20. It was like 44-7, I
Right.
think, at some point, or 44-10.
Well, that's when the secondary is back there looking
Well,
for
he
picks.
threw a touchdown pass to Anthony Brown, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that's true. Did he throw one to Kadarius Toney? Because I think he had a
Before he
pretty
got thrown
good
out,
game
yes.
against the Cowboys.
Yeah, before he got thrown
Yeah,
out.
he did. No, that guy's, like I said, he's
That's
just,
the only way they
he's-
covered him. He
like
got
the kids
thrown
say,
out.
He's so extra.
Yeah.
He's an amazing athlete. Oh, he's a dynamic player. Just something.
The touchdown pass Glennon threw against the Cowboys was to Devontae Booker.
Oh, okay.
The running back.
Right, who came in for Barkley in that game. And Brown sealed the win with the 45-yard interception return. Cowboys were, at halftime, only led that game 17-10.
Right.
It was 17-13 early in the third, and that's when the Cowboys rattled off 17 straight points to
That's the
make it
MO for
34-13.
usually how the Giants play. They play you tough in the first half, even against Tampa. They played them tough in the first half, and then it was boring. But I think Tampa went on to win by a couple of touchdowns.
Yeah, they won 30-10 over them. So, I mean,
They can hang in there.
Right.
But we got to do
So
the right thing.
from a player's perspective, how do the players approach playing a team like the Giants, who are 4-9?
You have to fight trying to be greedy. You have to be more controlled. You have to be that team that says the wave is coming. We're going to do what we do. The wave is coming. We just can't rush it. Just like you spoke, I just said it. The teams are always close in the first half. And then it's the second half. Because of the discipline in the second half, the better team always wins. So we just have to stay disciplined. We can't come out with the same old, let me get the offense warmed up a little bit. You got to crank that thing up. You kind of crank that offense up. A little interception. Oh, man, it's no big deal. Strip fumble, a sack fumble. We're still trying to crank that thing up. We got the right gas. Yeah. We need to come out. we just come out and be solid. Just come out and be solid and, use all three facets of the game. Nobody get lazy. So
sounds like you had the same lawnmower I had.
Yeah, well, the Cowboys been using the same lawnmower offensively.
For 6 weeks.
I was going to say month. But, yeah, we just have to come out and be solid. You see it happening. The better teams, Tampa, Green Bay, they're coming out, Rams, they're coming out and executing right off the bat. They are way past that beginning of the season, midseason, we're still trying to get it going. No, they're polished right now, and they come out first drive, second drive, and they score, and they keep the pressure on. That's what I mean. You keep the pressure on. You don't score and then let up like we did in the Washington game.
Well, it had been a while, I think, since the Cowboys had scored on the first drive of the game, but they did it. Unfortunately, it was a field goal this last game, and I was just trying to see what they've done. The previous games, the Saints, it was a punt. A punt, and a touchdown against the Falcons.
Oh, and that was a 43-3 win.
Yeah.
There you go.
So it's been a while. And then the Broncos, it was downs. Actually, downs the first two possessions. They gave the ball up on down. So they went for it on fourth down, right? The Vikings missed field goal. The Patriots, downs. The Giants, the first time around, interception.
Oh, no.
So that first drive, they've had some problems with it.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I hate watching that.
Punt, touchdown, punt. So that's
I
the
can't
whole season.
unclench till the second half. It's killing me, man. It's killing me. I can't live like this.
All right, we continue with more Mick Shots in a moment.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
Want to use what the pros use? How about the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black? Right now you can get the Jack Black Starter, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The starter includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites plus a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Go to getjackblack.com/Cowboys and use the code word TEAMJB. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys. The Jack Black Starter, $10, free shipping.
The Cowboys way, where 16 Hall of Famers and 5 championships shows us what success looks like. Where turkey is always the second best part of Thanksgiving Day. Where we are all defined by one single thing, the star. Where we as fans know it's our job to keep the tradition going. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys and to support the quest of living life the Cowboys way. Copyright 2020, Bank of America Corporation.
Before there was a draft, you could size up a cowboy by 3 simple factors: the crease in his hat, the bend of his brim, and his unbending attitude. A man Stetson didn't just protect him from what life threw at him, it projected a rugged, unstoppable spirit. Stetson hats are still American-made with pride right here in Texas. They're still the unofficial crown of all self-respecting cowboys, and Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Find a retailer nearest you at stetson.com/cowboys.
Back to Mick Shots.
Want Rowdy to deliver your presents this year? Now is your chance. Rowdy's holiday deliveries are available. Spread joy this holiday season with a surprise delivery from your favorite mascot. Book your holiday delivery today at DallasCowboys.com/Rowdy.
Ho, 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 ho.
And by the way, I was doing a segment this morning with the guys on NewYorkGiants.com, and they were asking me to try to describe Diggs, and I used Everson Walls as my example, and we were talking about the ability to catch the ball, and so I said something, and one of the guys yeah, he goes, when you talk about Walls, you mean the guy's crafty, because Walls was crafty. And I said, oh, okay. Guy's last name was Patino, maybe? Somebody knew you.
Okay.
He must have covered the team for a long period of time.
That sounds familiar. That name does sound familiar, Patino.
So,
would you describe yourself as crafty?
Yeah, definitely. I had to. That was it. You can't be a dummy out there, especially when you're running a 4.7. If you can't run fast, you better think fast. So yeah, that was it.
Okay, Cowboys game against the Cardinals, January 2nd, is now a 3:25 kickoff. That's not surprising. The Cardinals, news regarding them as wide receiver Deandre Hopkins officially had surgery on a torn MCL. He's going to have it in the coming days. Is headed to injured reserve. His regular season is over. They are hopeful that he might be able to return if they go deep in the playoffs.
See, I've never heard of anybody having surgery on a torn MCL.
It can't be a scope, right?
Well, it probably is. But
but maybe that is to give him a chance to be back for the playoffs.
Well, normally if
it's a scope,
if you tear your MCL, I mean it's usually a partial tear or whatever, and it's 2 to 4 weeks. I don't recall anybody like tearing it all the way, because a tear is if you stretch it, right? It's a tear because some of the ligament frays, right? Okay. And then if you're somebody like me, it's a month
MCL,
and a half. Yeah,
I'm thinking out. I'm thinking you're out.
Well, medial collateral, and you're usually out 2 to 4. So maybe you're right. Maybe they have a way to do surgery now.
Okay, so it's what is it, December 16th or so? So
they haven't ruled out the playoffs, is what they're saying.
Right, and so that takes you basically to the first 4 weeks would get you to the wild card round of the playoffs, basically.
Right.
So maybe who knows? But I guess by doing a surgery, they can get him back quicker that way.
Because the MCL usually regenerates itself. God, I did that twice.
That's how you know so much about it. A man that has been there.
All right, we touched on the Urban Meyer news in Jacksonville, and we mentioned a possibility on a replacement there. And of course, the first tweets out after Urban Meyer was let go, there was Kellen Moore tweets.
Okay.
And so, Kellen Moore to Jacksonville.
Well, here's the thing: if you're going to take that first job, you better make sure you got a quarterback.
There's a quarterback there.
And there's a quarterback there. Yeah. Because I remember who was it? Sean Payton did the interview with the Raiders. And it would have been 2004, 2005. He got to the Saints in 06, I think it was. So it must have been 05 he interviewed. And he basically turned the job down.
Because no quarterback was there.
And I think that was part of it. There were some other reasons, and I remember somebody said, he just committed professional suicide. He turned down Al Davis. And it's like, okay, but what situation are the Raiders in at this time?
Al Davis has no juice in the NFL. It was always about the Raiders.
Back then, right?
Yeah.
And so anyway, and then when he took the job with the Saints, it was a two-man deal, right? Because they took the chance on Drew Brees when the what was it? It was his shoulder. It was a shoulder injury.
It was a shoulder with Drew Brees coming out of San Diego.
And so the Dolphins they failed him on his physical, which didn't make Saban happy, by the way, and he only stayed, I think, one more year and then left. But it was about the quarterback. And so I remember them signing it sounded like they signed Breeze to this big contract, but basically, if you looked at the inside of it, the details were 1 year, $10 million. So they bet $10 million that the shoulder would recover and he'd be fine. They won the bet, and Sean Payton became a genius head coach.
That's right.
So now, don't go anywhere without a quarterback.
When you look at Jacksonville, they have the potential for a good defense. They have a couple of veterans on there, especially at the linebacker position, that are doing the best they can under these situations. But, you could go there and make some noise first year.
And you got to put together you got to put together a staff
and an offensive
because
line.
Urban Meyer said my assistant coaches are a bunch of losers. Probably didn't help him out very much.
Oh my goodness, man!
You know what this proves? If you're a college head coach, you got a lot of cover. You can do a lot wrong if you're winning, and it never leaks out.
Yeah.
But once you get to the NFL, there's too many eyes on you. And anything that off the field.
And your competition is much stiffer. That's the main thing.
Exactly.
They cause you to do stupid things if you're not prepared.
I'm not sure that Jacksonville would be the place that I would want to go, even with the quarterback. If first job.
Somebody's got to change it. Somebody has to change it down there.
Where's Jimmy?
Jimmy was in Miami and
he flirted.
Saban.
He flirted with Jacksonville. That was one of the things. Remember the Giants and Jacksonville.
Anywhere where you can park a boat, man.
Yeah, that's right.
If you got a place I can park my boat and drink some beers, I'm good.
The advantage on a Jacksonville is you don't have the media that you have at other places that can drive you out real quick.
And they probably don't have a very demanding fan base either, since they've been.
I know they don't
patient.
have hotels.
No, I know that.
Yeah.
I showed up there one year to cover at the last minute. I think it was Oklahoma State in what did they? It was at the what bowl? Gator Bowl, and could not find a hotel room.
I know. I was
could
there.
not find a hotel room.
I was there, brother.
And the city's laid out kind of weird anyway, right? And so I remember this was funny. The guy that was covering for the morning news, he had a room, and I had a rental car. So it was like he goes, okay, don't tell Dave Smith. Remember, he's the sports editor, czar at the morning news. He goes, but we can share my room, and then I'll share your car and get me to the airport. And I said, fine with me, right? And so we pulled it off. But yeah, showed up there without a hotel room.
That was an ugly Super Bowl. The event.
Oh, the Super Bowl was just.
We had a Super Bowl golf tournament. I was invited to it. And everyone was supposed to get paid like $1,000 to play golf. This is supposed to be a great event. So you look around, I mean, everyone was there. Bates and Jack Del Rio was still fussing about Bates getting fired by Jack Del Rio down there. LT was there. Banks was there. I mean, everybody was there. And I remember Thornton Chandler, he looked around and he said, it's not enough money to pay all these people. And I was like, oh, man, what are you talking about? Next thing you know, the guy that set up the event, they caught him at the airport trying to get away with all the money.
No way.
So we're standing there. The cops pull up. Hey, guys, you can play golf if you want. But the guy that just set it up, we just arrested this guy.
And he ain't got.
It was ugly. It was ugly.
The other thing that was there is what they pulled off, and that's why they'll never get another Super Bowl, is like there wasn't a lot of restaurants downtown, but the ones they did, they were charging a seating charge. So per person, per table. Like if you had 5 people, they were charging, that would be $50 before you even got on the menu.
Can you say gouging?
Yeah. And the menus changed. Like the menu you looked up online wasn't the menu they were handing you, the prices. Yeah.
Oh, the prices changed.
Yeah.
The fare was still, the prices changed.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But my advice to Kellen Moore,
don't go to Jacksonville.
it would be patient. Sometimes you're better off as an offensive coordinator in a certain spot that than that head coaching job elsewhere.
Yeah.
And he's young. He's going to have other opportunities. So there you go.
We talked you into it, huh, Bill? Out of it.
Zim sort of did the same thing too, because he had the interview with Nebraska, and he didn't kind of like the setup there. And so, unfortunately, that's
the most important thing is who you going to be working with,
right? And then
trust factor.
And then
and
then they didn't. He might have been the head coach here, but Bill didn't decide to retire. His contract was up, and he had the opportunity to go to Atlanta to be the defensive coordinator for the guy that was at Louisville, and then he quit in the middle.
Bobby Petrino.
Bobby Petrino.
Yeah, and somebody said something about college coaches going to the NFL and failing, and they go, and Petrino goes to Atlanta and failed. And it's like, no, he quit. Mm-hmm. He quit to go to Arkansas to be the head coach, and then left all the coaches there high and dry. And Zim was simmering, right? He didn't say anything till he got to Cincinnati as the defensive coordinator there, and they had to play Atlanta. And somebody asked him about it, and oh my God, he went off on his coach quitting. You can't quit and leave a staff there and families there and just walk out on them without even telling us. Oh, he went crazy. But he deserved every bit of it.
He did. He ended up, he got what he deserved in the end.
He's not the only coach who's done that. Okay, that does it for Mick Shots for this Thursday. And we've got a wild and wacky Friday ahead.
We'll start at 1:35 tomorrow.
1:35.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow at 1:30 or 1:35.
Go Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?